r/ask Reddit. What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house? I had some work people over for a dinner party at my house. We purposely shut off the lights leading upstairs to sort of let the guests know that the party is downstairs, i.e., there is nothing for you upstairs. Throughout the night I would see one of my co-workers taking out the dip from his lip with his index finger and scraping it into his solo cup. A bit later I went upstairs to check on my dog and hear some noises from the master bedroom. I walked in and saw the same dude using my toothbrush to get dip out from in between his teeth. He doesn't get invited to parties anymore. Number. What was your conversation with him like when you caught him? The first thing I said was the best way to keep that stuff out of your teeth is to not do it at all. The second best method is to use my toothbrush, but I would really appreciate it if you didn't. He embarrassingly apologized and by the time I got downstairs he had left. Wipe their ass on the white sink hand towel after taking a shit. Had plenty of available toilet paper. Called them out for it. They denied it, so I never invited them over again. Dude, someone used my Bob Dylan shirt I left on the bathroom floor to wipe their ass and there was TP within reach. WTF. I get not being a fan, but that's some next level shit. My friend treated my house like it was his own hotel room. I thought was coming to visit me and we'd coordinate for stuff to do, but it turns out he just wanted to save money on a place to sleep. He had his own plans and didn't tell me about any of them until he got to my place, and he even tried getting his other friends in the area to sleep at my place. I hadn't seen him in years, too, so I was disappointed that I planned my holiday weekend around my friend but he had other plans. I had a friend do something similar to my sister, also her friend. They have a small house and my friend was visiting the area and was supposed to stay with someone else but didn't let them know or even ask if they could stay. They get there and turns out they're not home. So friend asked my sister if they could stay with her and her husband. Their house is super small so she wasn't sure since they don't really have a guest room or big couch to sleep on. They started guilting her about having to shell out for a hotel. They had the money easily for a hotel. My sister and husband, being the nice folks they are, said they could stay and even gave them some stuff to sleep on. They wake up in the morning and turns out they had left without really saying thanks or goodbye and noticed their window AC unit was left on all night. She was pretty upset considering she was hoping to at least spend some time with them since they crashed there. Almost a year later they go back to visit again and sister's car is dead and she asks them for a jump thinking they would be able to since her husband and other friends were at work. They said no basically because they wanted to get to her party sooner rather than later. She was pretty hurt. That person is a dildo. He said he needed to look up something on internet so I lended him my laptop. He then proceeds to watch porn on my couch while I am 6 feet away from him. I took the laptop back. One of my best friends in college had to go to the DMV and I offered to drive him. Get to his place and he wasn't ready and still needed to shower, so I am sitting on his couch and he says, "Can I get you anything while you wait? Would you like coffee or porn or something?" That line has stuck with me for 9 years. It's so on par for him and was 100% genuine. I'm now adopting that as my go-to line of hospitality. Ate the dog's pellets. The bag was nearly full before she came and was half full when she left. Oh, you must tell me where you bought these delicious cereal with the dog mascot on it. They're always after my Barky Charms. Friend of a friend was on mushrooms and decided to do some amateur electrical work during a party at my house. That's a direct quote BTW. Overheard by multiple people. If that statement terrifies you, that's because those are not words that should ever be in the same sentence, let alone a sentence that amounts to a thing you are about to do at someone else's house. You're so. Not being an electrician, I can't tell you exactly what he did or what he was trying to do. All I can tell you is that $800 and 24 hours later the problem he created was solved by a professional. He wound up in the hospital and exited the party in an ambulance. LOL. Amateur electrical work. He's fine and paid me back. All in all, pretty good dude. I'd be lying if I said I've never pulled out a notebook and started planning out some dubious electronics projects on psychedelics. But that's some next level shit. As an actual tradesman, I can tell you the absolute last thing I would want to do on shrooms is trade work. First college party. A girl drank one beer and started acting like she was SOOO wasted. got fully naked and sat on my papa's chair. One of the most embarrassingly attention-seeking people I've ever met, lol. Bro, there's only one thing more annoying than someone completely wasted. People pretending to be completely wasted. I've never understood why people do it. They do it because they need an excuse to act like an idiot. Had a former friend visit me from overseas and literally disappear overnight to go and duck some guy she'd been talking to online, leaving me to field a call from her husband, who wanted to know why his wife wasn't answering her mobile. Shit, that's bad. Tops, my wife going on girls vacation with one of her friends and 4 hours in her friend tries to ditch her to go screw some dude on Tinder. Wife would have been stuck at their Airbnb with no transportation. She was pissed. Oh, it gets worse. She took home an STI and passed it on to her husband. For a story about someone filling a bath with puke water, this was surprisingly wholesome. My freshman year of college I did something similar. Got sloppy drunk, make a big old mess and passed out. Woke up hours before everyone else and felt so bad. Cleaned everything up as an apology. Weirdly enough, I always got invited back to that dude's parties. We were having a party at my house. It was weird as duck to begin with because my dad was having a hard time choosing between two women. He'd date one for a little while, then break up to date the other one for a little while, then realize he really loved the first one. It was a mess. Anyway, he invited them both to our house that night and they both brought their kids, who were all around my age. There were 6 of us kids in all. My best friend was the first woman's daughter. Well, she had hatched a plan and without really offering an explanation, convinced me to initiate a game of truth or dare. Her plan was for me to dare her to put her head inside my toilet and flush it. No ducking clue why I agreed, but I did. I dared her. She immediately jumps up and runs to the bathroom, all of us following her, lifts the toilet seat, submerges her head into the toilet water and flushes. One of the second woman's daughters is looking on at her as if she's ducking insane. She wasn't wrong though. And there's all this commotion in my bathroom between the 6 of us and our parents all come rushing inside to see what the duck is going on. My best friend's mother's eyes go wide as ducking saucers and I swear I saw smoke coming out of her ears as she starts screaming at her daughter, pulling her head out of the toilet and wrapping her hair in one of my towels. At this point I'm ducking, crying and struggling for air because all of this is the most ducked up hilarious shit that I have ever witnessed in my short life. Her mother screams at me in this high-pitched, enraged voice to shut up because it's not funny and I have to leave before she tries to kill me too. My poor bestie got in big trouble for embarrassing the hell out of her when she was trying so hard to get my father to choose her over the other woman. Her mother convinced my father to punish me for daring her daughter to do that, even though her daughter was the one who wanted this to happen. The other mom and her kids left pretty much immediately, but when the others left, my bestie catches my eye and she has this huge squint spaletta smirk, the Sandlot, on her face like yeah, mission accomplished. She knew exactly what the duck she was doing because that second lady never looked back and my dad ended up choosing her mom for some crazy ducked up reason. Bestie for life. That was fun reading it. It was fun remembering it. I need to call her later to remind her, lol. It was me. I was visiting my brother and sis-in-law at their fancy new apartment and I took a smelly shit. They had candles in there for just that sort of thing, so I lit 2 and hung around while the scent worked its magic. Not sure how, but I didn't notice the black smoke coming from the candles was leaving black streaks on the walls. I blew out the candles and tried to clean the walls. TP didn't work, so I used their white fancy towels. It still didn't work, but I ruined those towels trying. Eventually there was no escape but to fess up, so I did and was mortified. Fool, you should have used the candles to burn down the bathroom. No evidence equals no crime. That's really sad because smoke trails are very easy to clean with all-purpose cleaner or even dish soap. But the fancy towels, they shall never return to their pristine origins. My roommate had the drummer, figures, of his band over. Dude heats up the metal end of his lighter and just sticks it on my ankle. Sober, burned the hell out of me. Didn't say a word, or acted like it was anything but innocent and amusing. I had never met the prick before. Between fight, flight or freeze response, I've never been a freeze except for that day. Genuinely shocked. Yes, someone did this to me with the end of a lighter because I'm so high RNU the duck. The classic cop out. It's cool, man. I'm super high. It's cool, man. Just be cool. A grown man in our house for the first and last time. College academic team gathering. This was not a family friend. Marked his height on our children's wooden growth chart in permanent Sharpie marker. He had to prove that he was taller than children. Smug curled lip grin. Get own Timmy age 7. Struts off with marker in hand. Called it free lodging and calmed meals and didn't flush the toilet. Left wrappers under the guest bed. Refused to carry their own luggage. I would not have carried their luggage. As soon as they made that comment I would have squashed that shit. So rude. I would have carried their luggage. I would have carried it outside. Just far enough into the road to get clipped by a Mack truck. Took the sample Mac 5 razor. It was new and they had sent the whole neighborhood a full-size sample out of my mailbox. Then shaved all his pubes with it and leave them in my shower drain. Then proceeded to lie to my face about it as if the pubes magically appeared on the very same day everyone in the neighborhood got a new free razor in the mail except for me. That's actually pretty funny. It was annoying, but I wasn't too mad or anything. I think the real funny part is that he ducked me for months after that, and I worked with the guy. He switched to night shift. LOL. I was a kid and invited another kid to my house. 10 years old. When he showed up he brought like 4 or 5 family members with him. No parents, just siblings and cousins. They stayed just a few minutes. Everything was awkward. They said they had to leave. Insisted on knowing the way out themselves. And that was that. About 2-3 minutes pass and I go to the kitchen for a drink and they are all still in my house hiding behind the counter stealing our silverware. My family is broke as hell. That was not real silver, LOL. They all scramble for the door and the kids never really explained anything at school. Turns out they were poor too. Just dumb kids knowing the weight of money too early. Edit. Jonathan. I forgive you and I'm sorry for your lot in life. When I was 14 my landlord came to our apartment to fix the toilet and he took his pants off and did the whole thing in his boxers. I was alone with my mom and ignored him, but it was weird, and when I told my dad he was furious. The landlord said he was going to a wedding later and didn't wanna dirty his pants, but it was so ducking weird that he just did it and never explained himself until my dad screamed on him. Dude could have brought spare clothes and asked if he could change in your house after he's done because he is tight on time and doesn't want to leave you hanging. All dude needed to do was close the door before removing his pants. Then it would not be an issue. Some people have weird rituals for certain things. When I clean my computer I make sure I have a towel handy because I sweat like crazy when I work on computers. I make sure no one sees this hidden shame. That being said, your dad totally had grounds to be pissed. Working in your boxers is more an at-home thing, not an at-tenant's home thing. My mom made a friend at her church who was in need of a place to stay and we had a spare room. She ended up drinking about 25 bottles of my mom's wine in 1 week and ruining the mattress and rug with reddish brown hair dye that we thought was blood for a long time. 3.5 bottles of wine a day. That's actually kinda impressive, NGL. Holy shit, she had to have been steady hammered. I was the guest in this one, but once I fertilized a British couple's rose garden by puking a gallon of red wine and truffle stew all over it. I am not welcome back. Party foul. If you vomit, you do it in the toilet, and do so unwitnessed. Sorry, couldn't help laughing at that one. Give people free tattoos. No, he doesn't do tattoos. The kit was from Amazon. I have to admit I have gotten free tattoos from this exact situation before. I've done the same. Instantly regretted the outcome but didn't want to hurt their feelings. They've since been covered fixed. But a free tattoo is an expensive lesson learned. I threw a New Year's party once. Someone I invited brought a group of people who I knew, but didn't exactly enjoy the company of. Sometime around 1 AM, I noticed that my keepsake urn necklace containing my brother's ashes was missing. Then, I discover a couple of small lines of powder-like material in lines on my bathroom counter. The duckers had tried to snort my brother and stole the necklace his remains were in. I was livid. Edit. A word. Dear gods, that's next level ducked up. Just why? On a second note, do you want to get possessed? Cause that's how you get possessed. No, you have to stir the ashes into chocolate milk to get possessed. took the biggest ducking shit you can imagine. Turd was so big it wouldn't flush. Made a land bridge right across the bow. So she covered it with a butt ton of TP and then sprinkled perfume all over it to mask the smell. Small chick too. And still yet, poop knives have yet to truly catch on. Why are you going through my kitchen, looking for a whisk? Don't worry, you want me to. Trust me. Wasn't my house, was a friend's. We had been invited over to drink and stay the night. We sat in the garden, talked and drank, and then one of our friends excused himself to the bathroom. He was gone for about 20 minutes until another friend said he will go check on him. He came back down 5 minutes later laughing his ass off. The dude had gone upstairs and ran a bubble bath from himself, lit a few candles and even had a floating duck, face rolling on the floor laughing. The friend hosting was a cool guy and wasn't angry as we were all friends. Dude, I'd be dying if someone did that at my house. Like, as long as they clean up after themselves. Can't even be mad, haha. Make yourself at home, I guess, lol. Gave my dog drugs because, and I quote, she looked sad, so I thought some Molly would cheer her up. Looking back though, I tried to be patient at first. After hearing his attempts at defending himself, my reaction was pretty harsh. And I do not regret a ducking thing I said or did. Duck that piece of shit. He gave Mato a ducking 3-pound chihuahua and almost killed the only reliably good thing in my life and the only thing that gave me any real sense of happiness, and he couldn't understand why I was so angry and had the nerve to try and press charges on me. What a horrible person. I'm glad the dog is okay. She was never quite the same. She never had the same pep in her step that she used to and was always very muted after, but she did survive. Way too many of these involve shitting, and I'm never letting anyone in my bathroom again. I recently had a grown-ass man snort a line of Parmesan cheese like it was cocaine. He was completely sober and this was totally unprompted. It ain't easy being cheesy. Sounds like a great party. My uncle, aunt, and my mom traveled from another country to visit while I was in college. They stayed in my place. I had to leave for a class in the morning and left them in the house to chill. When I came back from my class, my uncle had shaved my Shinpoo's legs down, thinking he did me a favor. My fluffy cute dog looked so ugly with naked legs. What's worse, he somehow only shaved 3 and forgot the 4th leg. I don't know why I found this so funny. This is the most actually random and wild thing to be posted here. One time my parents invited some of their friends over. They had 2 kids, a couple years younger than me and my brothers, a boy and a girl. Since I'm the only girl in my family, I was forced to play with the girl. I showed her around my room and stupidly showed her my stash of Nutella. After a few hours of playing Minecraft in my lounge room, she goes to the bathroom. She was taking pretty long, so I went to check on her, but she came out of my bedroom, Nutella on her face. I go into my room and check my stash to find one of my Nutella jars empty. I'm never rude to guests, so I'll let it slip by. I've never let her in my room ever since then. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.